Hello, my YouTube friends. I haven't put out a lot of content here in the last few days. I was doing so on a regular basis for a while there, but I'm sorry. I got some personal issues going on that I'm not about to go into right now because they are exactly that, personal. But some shit's getting in the way of my putting out a lot of content lately. But I did want to come back and I promised that once I got a little more use on my ZAPAS Expendable that I would do a review on it. So I'm going to do that tonight. Now, the other day I did a short on this, saying how it was still so short after all that. And I slashed a bottle on it, but I didn't dry the damn thing off afterwards like an idiot. Usually I never make that mistake with a carbon steel blade, but I did on that day. And along the edge it got some rust on it. So I broke out the flitz and polished it off and got rid of most of it. There's still a little spot right there, but other than that, it's pretty much gone. But doing that with polished, which is basically, although it's fine, very, very, very fine, it's still basically, it's going to dull the edge up if that rag wraps around the edge, which it did. So by the time I got all that out, this thing was dull as shit. Wouldn't even really didn't want to. I mean, it cut regular printer paper, but it would not cut phone book paper anymore. So I had to put a fresh edge on it, and when I've done that, and I'm going to show you in a minute how that took. I didn't go all out and do a complete and total polished edge on it or anything. Normally, I don't do a complete and total polished edge on a fixed blade. Every once in a while I do just because I get bored or whatever, but generally speaking, I just want it to be sharp. It's a fixed blade. It's not a folder. Um, but this thing has performed so good. I've used the living shit out of this because I really like it. It's a very good knife. So I put a lot of use on this knife. And it's a 6 1/4, well, actually 6.3, I think, inch blade, a little over 6 1/4 inch. And the jimping works, even though it's spaced way out, which normally I don't like. This really works. It grips your thumb very well. It takes a wicked edge. This is basically, from what I understand, the equivalent of O2 tool steel, which I don't have any experience with until this. I've had plenty of knives with O1 tool steel, and I've had plenty of knives with A2 tool steel, never O2 tool steel. But this has performed really well. I've batoned a whole bunch of fat wood. I've cut a bunch of cardboard boxes up with it. I've done a little food prep with it. I've cut some zip ties with it. I've cut a little bit of straps with it. You know, my mind's drawing a blank right now. You know what I'm talking about. Straps like tie down straps like Scab does. The tie down straps. And it's held its edge very well. Now, before I dulled the edge, polishing the edge, it was still very sharp, but it wasn't like it was when it was brand new. Um, but it held its edge very well. Now, once I put an edge on it, normally I just do, to show you that it's sharp, I just do phone book paper, but very seldom have I ever actually even tried this, actually. But here is, as you can see, that didn't tear it, it cut it. Cutting paper towel, that knife's got to be sharp as shit to do that, and this did it. It does it, not even a problem. This took an incredible edge on it, and I'm very pleased with it, and it didn't really take me all that long to do it. It didn't raise a burr real quick like some other steels I have, but it didn't take an extraordinary long time either. Um, but once I raised the burr, flipped it over, raised the burr on the other side, and when I raise the burr, before I flip it over, I remove that burr more or less. I mean, there might be a little bit left, but on the other side, I then raise a new burr. I also sharpen the spine. When I first got this, it was sharp enough that it would scrape ferro rod and throw sparks, but it didn't just shower them. Now it does. This thing is very sharp because I took it on the belt grinder just across the top, and now it's very sharp. But overall, I am very impressed with this knife. I absolutely love this knife. It's a good design. The steel has performed excellent. Obviously, Poland has done a very good job heat treating it, and this is, by the way, from Poland. Um, my buddy Gruggs has done a whole bunch of ZAPAS knives lately, reviews on them. I don't know if they've contacted him or sent them to him or if he's buying them. Doesn't matter either way. He's done a lot of reviews on them, and he's a great channel. If you're not already subbed to him, and if you're subbed to me, I'm sure you probably are subbed to him. But if not, go over and check him out. Legion Tactical Cutlery. He's done a bunch of reviews on ZAPAS knives, and they've all just held up really good. Um, Poland has just done a great job with this knife. I'm very impressed with it. I would have no problem recommending this knife or any other knife from ZAPAS, knowing what I now know about their knives. So I really can't say enough about this knife. I got this from White Mountain Knives. I paid $99 for this knife, and if you know anything about White Mountain Knife, if you use any of the various knife reviewers' codes, you can get 10% off of that. I just always use LTK because it's easy to remember. I don't have to type a bunch of shit out. Just 3 letters LTK. Get 10% off, so it actually ended up being $90 for me. And this knife is worth every freaking penny of $90 in my opinion. So that's really all I got to say for this knife. It's a great knife. They did a great job with it. I can highly recommend it if you're in the market for a knife like of this size. This is 6.3, a little over 6.25 inches blade, but it handles very well. It's got a lanyard hole, so you can you can choke back and chop, chop, chop. If you put a pinky lanyard on there, it's not going to come out of your hand. But even without it, it's still, with that bird's beak, it still holds pretty good. It's not a heavy chopper by any means, but you can do some delimbing with it. Do some craft chopping, like if you're going to make a point for 10 pegs or whatever. It's just a great knife, it really is. And they did a great job with the stone wash on this. It is a high carbon tool steel, so if you get it wet, dry it off or it will rust. But other than that, I can't complain about this thing. It's an absolute great knife, and I would not hesitate to buy another knife from this company. That's all I got for you from right now. Oh, by the way, it comes with a great sheath, Kydex sheath. This is real Kydex, not some injection molded shit. Um, it does have just a slight little bit of rattle on it, but not enough that it bothers me anyways. And if it's just dangling off your belt, it's not going to rattle or anything unless you bump it or whatever. And it's a good sheath. It really is. It's a good sheath. No complaints there. Um, I highly recommend it. That's all I got for you for this one. Until the next one, stay safe, stay blessed, and we'll see you. And I hope to do more content here in the very near future. I'm trying to get all my personal problems straightened out so I can get back to making the content again. But in the meantime, trust me, I'm not going away. I will be back. And I hope you all like this video. Like it, subscribe, and we'll see you in a little bit.